I'm swearing this episode. I don't care if we get demonetized. Let's go.
We want to talk about the sad abduction and murder of Sarah Everard, who was 33, who basically went missing on the way home from a friend's house. And then a body was found a week later. And the culprit that they found was an active officer in the Met Police. He has been charged with her murder and kidnap, and is awaiting trial. So there was a group called Reclaim the Streets who were going to hold a vigil, an organised vigil in memory of Sarah, but because of the whole COVID precaution, safety rules, they couldn't agree. Them and the police couldn't agree, so they decided not to have the official vigil.
Yeah.
But I guess either the news didn't get to everyone, or they just decided not to care, and they still showed up. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people showed up.
Should they really care? Like, now's not the time to be, personally, I feel like now's not the time to be thinking about regulations and rules. Like,
but it's a safety thing, isn't it?
I mean, yes, of course.
There's a killer disease.
By all means, be responsible. Keep your distance, social distancing and all that. Wear your mask. But it's an emotional time. It's an emotional time. So I guess people are not necessarily thinking logically. They're not thinking, oh, this got cancelled, so we can't go. They want to go out there and express how they're feeling.
And that's exactly what happened. People showed up, but then so did the police, and they wanted to control the crowds.
Boy, them, innit? Always got.
And it was a largely female crowd.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously emotions were very charged, considering, you know, what had brought them there.
Yeah.
And then the police force was a largely male crowd.
Yeah.
Now things got a bit rowdy, and some of these officers were manhandling these women very roughly uncalled for, I would say. You know, considering it wasn't, you can't even call it a peaceful protest. It wasn't a protest. It was just people coming there to...
It was a vigil.
Yeah, like, be at one with their thoughts and, you know, sharing the moment, sharing the emotions of the event. So, yeah, it was very insensitive on the part of the police to behave like that, considering they're men, these are women, a woman just got attacked
by one of them.
By one of them.
Yeah.
By an active police officer.
Fuck boy.
So yeah, it was just not very it wasn't very sensitive. Now the head of the police, London Met Police, Cressida Dick, was very she apologized, but she was in defense of her officers.
Here's the irony. It's a female.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, so this is where I was a bit baffled. I was like, how does she feel right now watching her officers manhandle? Obviously that
did not look good. Watching the footage, that did not look good.
Yeah,
so
of course,
obviously
the optics were messed up, definitely.
Yeah, but her stance was, sorry to cut you off, when she's defending them, is that they are the law, they have to uphold the law. Could they have been more tactful? Yes, but at the end of the day, these people were breaking the law.
So they deserve to get pushed and shoved and kicked and punched.
Police have the right to use the force to which they deem fit.
Okay, so, but these are women though. So in their minds, that's how that the force they used was reasonable considering the situation. Like, so was the police at any risk at a peaceful vigil? What sort of risk could could come towards the police for them to.
I mean, I'm sure some
use
people were
such
being
force.
resistant to their presence, and you know, were being resistant to the police presence, and were not listening to maybe the gentle like push, like come on, let's go home. So maybe that's where the temperature started rising and things got out of hand.
But why is your temperature rising, fam? One of you just killed a male police officer just killed a woman, yeah. And rightfully, everyone's vexed, yeah. And definitely women, because women feel unprotected, right? I think as a normal human being, you should show some sort of patience here. Considering. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Considering. But I don't know, maybe they got power hungry, I don't know. Like, I'm trying my best not to sound biased against the feds, of course, being a black man and having run-ins with the feds.
Yeah, it's close.
Like, because it just takes you there, innit? Once you start talking about them, you're like, you know what I mean? But I'm trying not to be biased. At the same time, when I saw this thing, I saw it running on the news, yeah? And we're not going to stay on this topic too long because we got loads of stuff to cover. But when I saw this on the news, because I wasn't really aware what was going on, busy just, running around doing my thing. I come in, turn on the TV, I see police pushing and shoving people and kicking people falling. Mind you, I'm not really watching it, so I'm not seeing that these are women. It wasn't until the next day it hit me that, because they started talking about it on the news, that's when I clocked. I was like, right, those were women that were handling like that.
Being pushed on the floor.
Being pushed on the floor, dragging them on the floor and stuff like there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. And apparently, what's her name? Cressida Dick, am I saying her name properly? She backs the actions of these officers as a woman. And then
she can't, in her position, she can't not be seen to defend them. She could maybe say like some of these officers.
An apology?
I wouldn't really call it an apology, in my opinion. It was more of like, the officers were there to do a job and they did their job. Obviously, people. They need to work on their tact. After public relation kind of thing. After
bones have been broken, that's when they want to work on their public relations.
It's always after the fact with these kind of things, isn't it?
But it just goes to show, like, all these people, man, they're behind the times. They're reactionary. Like so you're letting these people out there without this training in place. That's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
That's dangerous, man. And in my conspiracy theory brain, there's another female who's actually to be blamed for this also.
And who would that be?
What's her? I don't want to mispronounce her name. Priti Patel. I don't know, man.
The Home Secretary.
Home Secretary. Not rocking with Home Secretary, man. When the Black Lives Matter, I hate to call it that, but when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on, she was speaking out against it. And it rubbed me the wrong way, considering her ethnicity. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I was looking at her funny, like she was looking like a sellout. And then on top of that, apparently because of those protests that happened, she said there's supposed to be more police presence now, from now on, moving forward, at protests. So apparently that's what put the battery in these lots back, for them to march out like that on some and go on raggo with a bunch of women. And then now she now tried to save face by saying, oh, the upticks did not look good and all of this kind of stuff. And her PR people quickly wrote a nice little statement for her and threw it out there on her behalf. Yeah. It's fuckeries, man.
A lot of people would agree with you when it comes to Priti Patel. She's not, she doesn't appear to be one for the people, if that makes sense.
She's not.
She's out for herself. She doesn't represent what her skin color represents.
She doesn't. Like, she's going on like she doesn't know her people are going through a whole bunch of discrimination, have gone through and is still going through a whole bunch of discrimination, different types of struggles that come with their ethnicity and skin color. Like the way she was sounding when that whole BLM thing happened, I was like in shock. I was like, rah.
Yeah, she said some very strange things.
This is a podcast, so we don't even need to fact check what she said. People could go look that up. Like, don't come here for the facts, innit? We're just shooting the shit. But so what about this MP Harriet Harman? Because I saw her in the news as well. I think she's like a human rights activist. I can't even talk. She got me so fired up. Human rights activist.
She is.
Apparently, she's lobbying to get some laws in place and stuff like that.
I heard her say something to that effect, but I don't really know too much about it, to be honest.
Yeah, apparently, because I caught something on the news while I was working about she's gonna try to get laws in place to ban like catcalling and guys following girls, asking girls for their numbers. And I'm not gonna lie, and I don't want to come across insensitive, and that's why I let you take the lead on this subject, being a man in that. But
that's why you let me.
I mean, okay, wrong phrasing. That's why you're taking the lead. That's why you took the lead on this subject. Is that better?
Is it? Carry on.
Anyways, can I carry on my point?
Please.
So anyways, there were a few frivolous points in there though that she was trying to push amongst like the really serious stuff.
Okay.
Like catcalling, and I know, yes, that is irritating from a woman's point of view and what they've expressed, but like, you know, you don't want to pack it with too much fluff to where the people who are supposed to like sign off on these things look at it and start to like look down on it. Do you know what I mean? You want to put the serious stuff first.
Yes.
You don't want to pack it with all this, can't ask a woman for her number. I'm paraphrasing here. She didn't say that exactly, but it was along those lines. Yeah. I'm like, shouldn't we face like the serious issues?
Yeah,
like
which is
assault, groping, that kind of stuff. The more physical aspect of it, stalking, you know, the more menacing physical side of it, not a law that's gonna blur the lines to where you can't even chat up a woman no more. Like, do you know what I mean? Like now, what's that?
Yeah, all like, that is very. And
I don't want to sound ignorant. I don't want to sound, you know.
It very much depends on the individuals in that moment. Of course, you know, as a woman, I've been, you know, minding my own business, walking from A to B, and it could just be something about a certain person that would just disgust you. I mean, seriously, it's like mega creepy. It's just it's just nasty. It's not nice. You just want to get away from that situation as quickly as possible. You know, it's uncomfortable regardless, but some people will have that icky factor.
Yeah, but then to play devil's advocate, I don't want to say these things are frivolous, so that's the wrong phrasing, because it always starts off minor till it's not minor any longer. Ain't
minor no more.
You know, so
yeah, it's a build-up.
It is a build-up.
It's a build-up.
It is a build-up, but
nobody one day just wakes up and decides I'm gonna, you know, do X, Y, and Z to
some people do.
Person.
There's some sickos out here.
But there was something that there has to be a trigger, because you can't just.
And you just brought me. Sorry to cut you off. You just brought me to my other point. Is no one is really addressing mental health here.
Yeah.
Like I'm guessing that's where you're taking us, like to the mental health aspect of this whole thing, where what would actually make someone do that?
Yeah.
And he's holding down a proper job.
Yeah. A big job.
A big job.
He had a big role in the force.
That's crazy.
A big old force. Not to excuse behavior. Wrong is wrong, and right is right. But yes, there's a lot of people are walking a lot with a lot of trauma and a lot of damage, and if it's not checked from early on, you know, why aren't mental health advocates in schools from day one? You know, and not in the sense of, oh, come and sit with the psychiatrist on my couch, tell me about your parents and blah blah blah. Psychology is, there's like so many ways, especially with children, to make it's a playful thing, you know, to now get into the minds of the children, how these people think, and then keep that going as children reach secondary school and higher education, and you know, they move on with their lives. If it's already there from day one that you are being studied, for want of a better word, and people are keeping an eye on you and putting in the right measures in place, if you need extra support. Even parenting, like, just parenting should not just be left willy-nilly. Yes, like, we're all responsible. No, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like,
you're basically saying that it starts at home. It
starts at home. Parents, as soon as, you know, you find out you're pregnant,
I think that's what you're saying before they say, don't tell her what to say. So,
No, as soon as you register yourself as expecting, there should be mandatory classes that you should be expected to attend. Like, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like,
then won't people say that's
a nanny state, telling people what to do,
dictating their life to them, and what makes you think that I don't know how to parent? Do you think maybe they should make it an option as opposed to a mandatory thing? Just make it an option.
But then some people won't do it. Because it's always majority. Some people will, of course, but it's those people who are missed, who fall between the cracks. I feel like.
Cause go ahead and do stuff like this.
Not necessarily, but are missed they might not end up being killers and sociopaths or whatever, but they're on the margins of society.
I hear that.
You know, whether that's financially, mentally, you know, a whole bunch of scenarios and reasons.
Yeah, no, that was, it was a sad situation, man. And
long story. Sorry.
Go on. No.
Long story short, mental health is at the key. Is at the source
heart of this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I would think so, but
I mean, look at how like women have been triggered to, like, some women are having real traumatic flashbacks of experiences or near death experiences.
This is just like, and not to sort of liken the two, but this is just like when all of this racist stuff was going on, and you see a lot of black people just being triggered, and a lot of actors and all it taken to social media, crying, and it's just bringing back memories. It's the same thing. It reminds you of what you've been through, and you're like, but so just to wrap it up, mental health. You know, but at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube podding. I'm not an expert, but I would think mental health is at the heart of all of this.
It's very important to reach for help. Yeah, it's okay to ask for help, to talk about it.
On both, in general.
On both ends.
Male, female.
Men need to do it. Females need to do it.
In general.
There's a whole bunch of free psychology and support systems out here now. You don't even have to leave your house now. It's all via Zoom, via an app. So reach out for help.
Before I move on to if I get your opinion on the next thing I was gonna bring up here, I heard Black Twitter or Black social media had something to say about what's going on. Like, basically, a lot of Black women have experienced the same thing but are being overlooked.
Yes, so basically it's just that the media attention that the Sarah Everard case received, like, it was a whole national, countrywide, I'm sure even it reached some international outlets picked it up, but there has been a number of Black women who have died murdered, and it just like where are their stories? Why don't they get picked up by national media?
Yeah.
And given the attention that they deserve? They're human beings too, their lives too.
Of course.
So it just feels like it's not a level playing field. I know you don't want to be level, especially on a thing like that. But, you know, these are still somebody's daughters. You know, sisters, mothers.
Mm.
Why don't they deserve the same light and attention?
I think we know the answer to that.
Well,
yeah.
It seems obvious, but they'll tell you no, it's not.
I mean, would you expect them to say you think they're gonna come out and be like, yes, it is, and what? Like, do you see what I mean? That's just the times we're living in. That's the country we're living in.
Yeah.
Speaking of country, well, I know we could segue to this a bit better, but still.
You mean you could have segued to this better?
Teamwork, we.
Oh, no, now
right?
we're a team, yeah? You start from saying you to we.
Anyways, your friend, Brian Rose.
I don't know who that is.
You know the brother sometimes when like I'm showing you stuff on YouTube and his advert pops up. Yeah, and he's all suited and booted and he's walking through London like this.
Yes. I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Throwing smoke towards, he's been not throwing smoke.
He's running for mayor, right? Mayor candidate.
Smoke with the current mayor, yeah, and he's running for mayor basically. Okay. Yeah, decided to use this as an opportunity for one of his campaigns.
This being
this Sarah situation.
Okay.
This tragedy.
Sarah, yeah.
He decided to use it for one of his campaigns. Like, remember the last campaign was about when they were trying to paint this knife crime thing and trying to pin it on the black community and all that. He tried to piggyback off of that as well, and he throwing shots at the mayor. He deserves some of the shots, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like it's a bit, I don't know. What do you think about that? Let me get your opinion on this, because this is in line with this whole with what you were talking about earlier.
He's a politician. Politicians play dirty. He will do what he has to do to, to try and get as close to that seat, if not get his butt on the seat.
You don't think it's too soon though? Like, literally, as the story was running on TV,
the morality of it goes out the window. Oh, personally, of course, it's hideous. Like, that's disgusting. Why would you do that? I don't
rate it, man. I don't rate it.
This is somebody's child, like we were just saying.
Yeah.
No. There's some things you just don't do.
He was straight off piggybacking off, like, as it was running on TV, he had already put together a little YouTube ad campaign thing.
What? So what was he saying? Our streets are not safe.
Yeah.
So what's his pledge?
To appeal to vote for me. And I'll make the streets
protects
safe.
Women.
Yes, women, vote for me. I'll make the streets safer for you. Because my man over here clearly is not doing it.
Yeah, the head of the Met Police is a female. She can't control her own officers.
Shit.
Calm down, dear. He'll probably end up being mayor.
You reckon? Oh, well, I mean, the times we're living in, I wouldn't be surprised.
This is the times too.
You know. Speaking of the times we're living in, I don't know if we should get into this next. Did you have anything you were going to...
we had the big interview, didn't we?
Ah, yes. Okay, let's touch on that real quick.
Real quick? There's a lot to disseminate about real quick. So Harry and Meghan finally had their sit down with Oprah. And boy, oh boy, it was... How did I put this? Yes, I stayed up. I watched a live stream. There's no way I was going to wake up and see snippets of the whole thing. No. So I stayed up and watched it. It was not shocking, but surprising, if that makes sense. I wasn't shocked by what they said.
Of course
But it was still like, wow, they actually did that.
Yeah, like they were dumb enough to do what we thought they would do.
It was just like, oh my God, I can't believe, like this. They have been through a lot with with both their families. Obviously, Meghan's family haven't been the most supportive, outside of her mother. Her dad is crazy.
Yeah, listen,
okay, let's not. We're gonna bleep out crazy. Her father is.
I don't
irrational.
rate that guy, man. I don't rate him. I'm sorry. I don't rate him. I don't rate you, fam. He's not
a father. That's not what a father does.
No.
Absolutely not.
Like, come on.
He was asked in an interview, why does he keep selling stories about Meghan, and his response was, because she won't talk to me.
So wait, he gets paid for those stories?
I would assume so.
Yeah, no. See, I don't want to call him names, but he knows what he is deep down inside, and what a weasel. Oops, I mean...
Don't call him names.
Nah, but come on. Who does that?
He does. And apparently he'll keep doing it until he gets his way, which is not going to happen. That's not how you move. You don't play like that.
Like what? And is he expecting to still have a relationship after this?
He wants to see his grandchild.
You're not coming nowhere near my child, boy. That was my dad?
Yeah, of course not.
No.
So in the interview, they talked about all the things that we kind of figured were happening, not treating her the same as they were perhaps treating Kate, William's wife.
That was obvious, though.
That was obvious. So what was not shocking but surprising was when they revealed that one of Harry's family members had commented on
the color of the
what skin tone their child would have. So there's been a lot of chatter on social media. Who said it? And Oprah came back after the interview and said it wasn't the Queen, and it wasn't Charles.
Yeah, I don't know their names, so I'm not gonna help you out.
So it wasn't the Queen, and it wasn't his dad.
Yeah.
So that leaves his brother, and obviously
the wife,
the
sister-in-law.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking definitely it's the brother.
Yeah, it's the brother. I think it's the brother as well.
Now, yesterday or the day before yesterday, I saw a news clipping because after the interview, William and his wife had one of their whatever events that they come to and meet people, whatever. And someone from the media shouted out, "Is your family racist?" He's like, "No, my family is not racist." Of course he's going to say that.
Of course.
What else is he going to say? But somehow, now yesterday I saw there was a picture of him hugging a black guy, or a black guy hugging him, and with the caption was, "William is not racist," or something to that effect. I was like, yo, his PR machine is working overtime. Why would you need that to prove? So you got you're gonna find the blackest person you know to rate you that you're not racist.
But isn't that what they do? That's what they do. That is exactly what they do.
You look guilty.
But you know what's funny? Like,
why do you need to do that?
After the interview, when didn't you see him on the news when he went to that mixed school, and it was like a black teacher showing him around. Around
PR, like it's all PR machine.
But these are like outdated tactics they're using.
That's how you know they're still stuck in plantation days.
Far removed from what's going on.
Yeah. And apparently now the royal household is updating its diversity and inclusivity policies and procedures. They said they had it in place, but clearly there were things they needed to do to get it more up to speed, more up to date. I'm like, so y'all never had no black staff? Like,
of course not. Or even if they did,
they don't care to share about them.
Peasants. That's how they looked at them. Peasants. Yeah. A black person. Remember I said this to you when we were talking about it. I said to you they missed out on a perfect opportunity to make themselves look.
Meghan was their shining beacon into
this new age.
Into the new world.
diversity, all
And
of
their
that
children.
stuff.
Yeah.
They messed it all up. Like perfect opportunity right there.
Big time.
To get rid of this stigma.
Yeah, try and detach themselves from their colonial past.
Yeah.
I mean that you can never.
You can never do that.
But at least
you know.
Do you know?
But
it
they
was
messed it
softened up. But since now a whole bunch of countries are saying those who still have those colonial have England or the UK as their head of state, quite a few of them are looking into becoming republics and independent. Which
I'm not sure,
I believe they should have done that a long time ago.
Time ago.
Why is the Queen still standing over you? So yeah.
She's a colonizer.
It's the Commonwealth.
Ooh, and then your favorite person resigned or stepped down. How is it resigned?
Your favorite person.
He's your favorite.
He walked
person,
out. He walked out like
that's how they put it.
Like a stroppy teenager. He walked off set when his co-presenter blasted him for the bullshit that he was on about. Yeah. How he was carrying about Meghan, that just unrelentless attack like a rabid dog. Like, relax.
I've been saying it. I've been ranting about him behind the scenes to you. Like, this guy, I've been saying it. Like, at first he was like anti. He was coming across like anti-black, like racist, anti-black community. He was trying to pin the whole knife crime on the black community and talking about black on black crime. You know, the usual stuff that the racists come out with. And then the protests happened, the BLM stuff happened, George Floyd stuff happened. Yeah. He tried to switch sides. I watched this guy try to switch sides and talk about this is appalling and blah, 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 and all of this nonsense. But in the end, the truth comes out. Like, you're going to show your true self. You're going to show your true colors. I feel like he's got a lot to sort out, man. I think he's got some issues. He's got some issues. He's got some things he needs to address within himself personally. Yeah. Before coming on TV to talk. Like his co-host though, man. Like what's going on with her? She just lets him.
Susanna Reid just
whatever.
It was a Piers Morgan show. It wasn't Good Morning Britain. It was the Piers Morgan show. She was just a co-host, a figurehead, to occasionally make a face like, oh.
The only time, or she'd be like, guys.
Yeah, she'd try and break the peace or whatever.
She would never like check him. He would say like the most.
He would shout and berate at this at Dr. Shola, who would regularly.
Shout out to Dr. Shola. I love that woman. Shout out to
regularly partake in discussions, you know, mostly about race and when it comes to such stuff, because that's her field, that's her expertise. But he would just, I mean, she gave as good as she got, but like it was just digging all the time, always attacking.
Like there's no like.
And I feel like if she was in the studio, would he have walked off if she was in the studio? Because she don't back down for no one.
He would have walked off. I think the fact that she's a woman and a black woman would have irked him even more. I think. He would have walked off same way, but hey, I hope he gets the help he needs.
At least he's gone from that show anyway.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He's still got his other late night interview show he does.
He'll be back, where he pretends to care about people's struggles.
Life story.
Where did you see the one with Trisha? With Trisha, and he was all like, and in there. Britain is not a racist country. It makes me laugh when they say that.
Because they're absolute. They choose to be clueless because it's not their life experience. It's not their lived experience.
Britain is not a. I'm sorry you went through racism, but Britain is not a racist country. My Britain is not a racist. Or however the fuck he said. Anyways, moving on. It's just popping off.
It's too much.
It's too much. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on. Like, did you hear about Ireland suspending the Astrazeneca vaccine?
Ireland and a few other European countries.
due to 20 reports of blood clots. But then they, I think, appealed the case or whatever, and
Who,
the EU,
AstraZeneca
I
did?
think AstraZeneca did. Someone who stands to lose a lot of money appealed the case, and the EU regulators declared the vaccine safe and effective.
But so is Ireland.
So they
What
will,
does that mean for Ireland?
I don't know. I don't know if Ireland is still going to use it or not. I haven't checked the facts on that. But
So what's happened with the Pfizer vaccine then?
the Pfizer one is still going.
So why
that's still
they
running.
should just switch to the Pfizer if they don't want the AstraZeneca?
Exactly. But I think maybe they already had certain deals in place.
Yeah, maybe. And they're just highlighting the incidents.
The incidents, yeah. But I think they're saying these are just isolated incidents and all of that. So, well, stay safe.
Yeah, just be safe.
Be safe.
Do your
out
research.
there. Yeah. We should have brought this up when we were talking about the plight of the black woman earlier, BreonnaTaylor. They still haven't. That's still up in the air.
They've
not even up in the air. They're just not talking about it.
They've just they've arrested. The house next door.
Yeah.
The cop was done for that.
Yeah. The bullet that went into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not for the bullet that went into her body. Multiple bullets that went into her body.
Well, say her name.
BreonnaTaylor.
Say her name. I know it feels like we're flying through these subjects, but there's loads to talk about. Loads. George, speaking on the same subject or along the same line, George Floyd's family was awarded 27 million.
Yeah, by the state.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean,
I can never bring him
can
back.
never bring him back.
You know, if it's managed correctly, then at least his child is secure.
Yeah, yeah.
For life.
Yeah, never bring him back though.
No, she's lost her daddy.
That pain will never go away. That that's a permanent scar right there. So. Yeah. But this is just getting sad and sad and sad. And
God, we're supposed to end on a high note.
No, some high notes coming. Some high notes coming. There's a pun there. You catch it down the line. But
I'll wait tentatively.
But a legend died, man. A legend to me, anyways. Marvin Hagler.
Who be that?
Legendary boxer, man. He's in my top, definitely in my top 5, probably in my top 3 boxers of all greatest boxers of all time. If I was to make a list,
yeah.
What's
his most famous fight?
He was in this like 3-way rivalry with Sugar Ray, Sugar Ray Leonard, and what's this, Duran, Roberto Duran. They called him. There's a movie on Roberto Duran. Usher was in there. He played Sugar Ray.
Okay.
Hands of Stone or something like that.
Hands of Steel.
Hands of Steel. I don't know. I can't. Hands of Rock. I don't know. Rocky.
Have you watched that movie?
I haven't seen the movie. I don't really watch boxing movies. I like to watch the actual thing. But Rocky Hands or some shit. I don't know. But Hands of Stone.
Rocky Hands.
Rocky Hands. Hands of Stone or something. But anyways, Marvin Hagler was a sick boxer. I advise any boxing fans to go watch the highlights of his fights. There's a fight with Thomas Hearn, I think it is. That's another legend as well. That fight definitely is up there in like boxing Hall of Fame. It's like one of his greatest fights. But yeah, he was a badass in that ring, man. Badass in that ring. So R.I.P.
R.I.P.
What else do we have? Well, speaking of high notes, my boy Nas won a Grammy. First Grammy ever.
Zaddy.
So anyways. Yeah, he won a Grammy for King's Disease.
Very good. Finally. Long time coming.
Congrats to King Esco. Cheers.
Oh my God. Okay. Do you need a moment?
Listen, I'm Haps, man. You know I'm the biggest Nas fan. Like,
You sure are.
it was, come on. We need Snoop to win one. I don't think Snoop has a Grammy. So, but yeah, Nas officially has a Grammy now for a classic album.
It's never too late.
So yeah.
Here we go.
Big up.
Big up. King Esco.
Mr. Jones.
Next subject, please. Perv.
What? He fine like wine. Yeah, I think we've covered most of what we wanted to say. Was there one more thing?
I got a couple more.
Go on then.
Coming to America. How can we leave that off the
Coming
off the
to
table?
America 2.
Coming to America 2. Yes, sorry. Coming
Out
to America
on
2.
Amazon Prime.
So
Video.
give us your review, your in-depth
Okay, what's that
review.
face? Review.
That's
You're trying to do that blockbuster voice.
yeah. Did I
No.
nail it? Just give us your review, man.
It was okay. Obviously, it was never gonna be like the original. Never ever. Remakes hardly ever are. It was fine.
What was Black Twitter saying? Did they kill it? Because I haven't really
do you know
been
what? I
online
haven't
lately.
seen. I didn't
Nothing
really see
on
this.
Insta
I mean,
or
there were
nothing.
for black representation.
Yeah.
As you know, it was loved,
Yeah.
but I didn't see any like critique about it in terms of script and dialogue or whatever.
On one hand,
People were just happy to see a lot of the original cast. Cast
yes,
members.
that's one thing I was definitely happy about.
Yeah.
On another hand, just to not to segue, but I'm loving this new Eddie Netflix Amazon hustle that he's got going on. Like, he put out the Dolomite movie on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's gone over to Amazon to put out Coming to America 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering what his next step is going to be. Like, I like this Eddie Murphy
big,
comeback.
clearly.
I like the moves he's making.
Yeah,
like,
Dolomite is one funny
movie.
Yeah, so
And
that's another recommendation right there.
And this Coming to America 2, I feel like probably is the best sequel they could have made for this movie, because they waited so long as well. Like, what other storyline could they have? Because that's what we were asking each other. Like, where are they gonna take this? What's it gonna look like? How are they gonna execute this?
It was a bit too naff though. It was a bit too cheesy. Like, it was a bit too corny. Yeah, that's the word.
You reckon?
There were bits of it that were just like mega corny. Like, didn't need to be there.
For example?
God.
Boy, you're not holding any punches today. I like this. Okay,
It
go
was,
in.
Okay.
It was.
Let me even remember the scene
sorry.
I'm talking
My bad.
about.
I'm trying to amp you up.
Don't amp me. That's confusing me. I don't know, just in general, it's just like, no.
Speak your mind, queen.
No, I'll need recaps.
I mean,
of
when they tried to say, when they tried to use on fleek, and when he
No.
when they were trying to use like latest
Yeah,
slangs, and then they were
yeah,
like, no, we don't use that. No,
Yeah, no,
that scene.
not that bad. No.
What, the fake African accents?
I don't know.
You know what? There was one scene, and listen, Rick Ross. I love Rick Ross. Yeah, and I know that the movie was made in his mansion or whatever. Yeah, but there was throughout the movie. Yeah, Rick Ross was playing a goon. He was playing Wesley Snipes' goon. He went from playing a goon to wearing a crown in the last scene. You didn't clock that,
No.
did you? Go back and rewatch it. I'm like, why has Rick Ross got a crown on his head? Why has he got a crown on his head?
He's killed the good and now he's king. I don't know.
No, Wesley was still there.
Oh.
The boss is still there. And he's behind the boss with a crown.
Yeah. Like, in the trailers, there was a lot of clips with Tiana Taylor in them, but then she had a very, very minute role
they didn't give her a lot of lines.
in the movie. So I was like,
We're talking about.
that was a waste of talent.
Yeah, I know Tiana would have killed her. If they gave her more lines and gave her like a bigger role, she would have killed it. Rotimi.
Yeah, he was mad
didn't
corny
even speak.
and
Rotimi didn't even speak.
hardly.
But I feel like for this time, because we're in that microwave age anyway, so it's just...
Yeah. Visually, it was beautiful. Like, it was colourful,
I think for
bright.
the times, it was okay. It's never
In terms of quality of script?
Yeah.
Nah.
So, out of 10, what would you give it?
For nostalgia?
But wait. Let me... how they say? Let's play devil's advocate here, right? We don't really get a lot of banging scripts these days in movies. Like, you don't really get a lot of intriguing stories.
No,
these
but
days because go on.
This is like a, what do you call it? It's a story. It's a story that's still being told. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a, what's the word I'm trying to say? It's a carry on. Do you know what I mean? There's the first one, and this is part 2 basically. So they've already got like the base for it. It's like a pre-made plot.
No, because they wrapped the first one nicely. They wrapped it up nicely. It's not like they left
but it's kind of open too.
No,
how it ended.
They didn't leave it open. They went back to Zamunda and got married. Then the story.
But like, if they live happily after, that means they're gonna have kids. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that.
Yeah. So
clearly, they had 3 daughters.
But they didn't leave anything open that needed to be wrapped up. It was
if it ended there, then that would have been that.
And that's what we thought. We thought that was the last of Coming to America, and then boom, sequel. So how do you now? So to shoot the writers some bail, like how do you now continue from there?
Get hire better writers.
Years later down the line, yeah, but they hired what the Amazon budget could afford.
They spent that on the set and costume and paying all these actors and not paying the writers.
It's because of the times we live in. You think these kids want to sit down and watch?
And also because, but then when they made it, they didn't know it wasn't going to cinema. When they started filming, they didn't know it was going to cinema.
They didn't know, or they
didn't.
You sure?
Yeah, because it's like 2 years. It's 2 years in the making before a film is ready.
But Dolomite didn't go cinemas.
True. That's a lot of films are straight to
streaming. I feel like that's how Eddie is approaching his movies now. He's trying to get with the new age of doing things. I don't think these kids want to see like an intriguing script and witty humor, intelligent comedy. I don't think that's what they're looking for. So I think he's just trying to give the people what he thinks they want. Okay. Just to shoot him some bail. Yeah. It's not the greatest movie ever made, of course not, but I think it's alright.
Yeah. So
would you give it out
for
of 10?
Nostalgia? I'll give it a 7.
7 out of 10. That's not bad.
Yeah.
For considering how you killed it. Considering how you killed it just now, 7's not bad. I thought you were gonna give it like, I thought you were giving it like a 4 or 5.
It was still enjoyable. As corny as it was still enjoyable.
It was naff.
Yes, naff. Corny naff.
You enjoy corny naff?
Sometimes.
Corny naff.
Yes.
That's bad on 2 levels.
Do you understand what corny naff means?
No, please explain. I don't speak Ebonics.
It's like when you say when they say like a car crash, but you see a car crash, you know you don't want to watch, or you shouldn't watch, but you can't help but look.
So the movie was so bad it was good.
Yeah.
Yo, you're moving on. What else is there to cover? Nas, Grammy, Coming to America 2, New Music Alert. I stumbled on, well, a few people have dropped music, but some names you won't know, so I'm not even gonna bother. That's like rapidy rap, hip hop head, like Benny the Butcher. You've heard me talk about him quite a bit. He dropped a few days ago. Plugs I Met 2. If you ever want to hear bars, check it out. But now I stumbled on this song by a UK artist, well, two artists called Cash and Millions. I don't know if they're a duo, but it's called Pounds and Dollars. Sick.
What's the concept of the song?
It's in the name, Pounds and Dollars. We be spending it. Check it out.
Is that how it goes? We be spending it.
It was something like that was said in the chorus. I can't remember the bounce, but it's a drill track, and you're into your drill these days, so I think you'll like it.
Okay.
But that's all I've got on my. Oh, we spoke about the vaccine, but we didn't shout out all the frontline workers. Like, shout out to all the frontline workers risking their lives out there. Like.
Yeah, they're still doing it. They're still grinding out.
Still grinding. You are appreciated.
There's still people who are sick, so in intensive care.
Another thing we skipped over is that there's a lot of PTSD happening amongst frontline workers. I say PTSD happening. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
a lot of frontline workers are starting to suffer mental health issues, breakdowns and stuff like that. So,
trauma triggers.
So they're facing some serious.
Yeah, it's a long road. Even if we do get rid of the Rona, there's a lot that has come to the surface because of it.
Yeah.
So those who are suffering long term with this long COVID, so you've had the main infection that's passed, but you're left with side effects.
Mental side effects.
Mental, physical. Some people can't walk. Like, some people have really been damaged.
Their lives have been damaged by COVID. Yeah, definitely.
You know, obviously we've got a lot of financial damage. People have lost their jobs. You know, you lose your job, a lot of people have lost their homes.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a very cascading pebble in the water effect, ripple in the water effect.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, shout out to everyone.
Shout out to all.
Still surviving, pushing through.
Shout out to all the survivors. Shout out to the ones fighting it. Shout out to the frontline workers.
And RIP to the ones that we've lost.
RIP to the ones we've lost. And I think that's a wrap.
That's it for today. See you next time.
See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment, like, subscribe. All of that good
stuff.
And we'll be back with another episode. It's the Katchup.
Bye.
That was a sick outro. I'm gonna start doing that now. That's my outro from now on. It's the Katchup.
It's the Katchup. Sauce. Pour the sauce.
Alright, that's dead. That's a